Alright guys, in this video, I just want to say before I begin, spoilers. Lots and lots and lots of spoilers, so let's get right into it. So I apologize for the lack of editing too, because, well, I just got home and it's very late over here, so there's not going to be a lot of editing. So, let's begin. So, you all know the plot of it, right, from the trailer, so I don't need to go over it. Superheroes have a fight, that's about it. One thing that I like about it is that even though Baron Zemo wasn't seen much, he is the villain with the most motivation in the entire the entire movies. He has the perfect motivation. His family was dead, and that's a good motivation. It's a shame they didn't really use him, but I feel like they're going to use him, because in the comics, spoilers, Baron Zemo leads the Masters of Evil, so, you know, that's something that might be really cool to explore in Infinity War, since he survives this film. Another thing I like is how Ant-Man is in it, but he's barely in it. He's in it, but he makes an impact because he turns into Giant Man in the film, so that's really awesome. It is really cool. Everyone in the theater screamed when he turned into Giant Man, and I cannot say that I was not one of them. So, Giant Man, definitely a highlight. A lot of it was the highlight. Ant-Man has a slightly different costume, and I kind of liked it, even though it's slightly different. You know, Giant Man was one of the highlights. Another highlight was the final film. We find out that Bucky killed Iron Man's parents, but if you read the comics, you would already know that. So, a lot of this film is kind of boring halfway through, but that's only because, well, it's supposed to be kind of a political thriller first. I'm kind of thinking this is a big-ass action film, but if you're watching this, you've probably already seen it. And one thing that I had to say is how they handled Spider-Man. So far, there have been 5 films based off of Spider-Man, 6 if you count that 60s, 70s thing. I don't know if that counts. Anyways, there's been a lot of versions of Spider-Man, and this is probably the best version of Spider-Man we've ever seen on a screen. It's up there next to the Spectacular Spider-Man from the, 2009, if you guys remember that. It's a very good representation of Spider-Man, which I'm glad they did. He only had like 5-10 minutes of screen time as Peter Parker, and they captured everything. Which, one thing I like about this film is how they made Aunt May younger, which never made sense, because why is she so old if she's supposed to be Peter's aunt? Never really made sense at all contextually. So I'm glad they changed that, and I feel like Robert Downey Jr. was freestyling when he said he was surprised by, quote, how hot she is. I feel like he was freestyling that. So they're a very interesting surprise how young she was. She's in like her late 30s, maybe. I don't know really. So so Spider-Man really well, even though he disappears from the film. It was really awesome to see him again. Spider-Man was another real highlight, and it's so glad to see him back home with the rest of the Marvel characters. Definite highlight. And another real treat was to seeing all the visuals. The action was amazing, and I'm surprised that they didn't do the iconic ending from the comic, where, spoilers for the comic book, Captain America dies and Iron Man's just left over, and Thor beats the shit out of Iron Man. So I was really surprised they didn't do that, because that would be really interesting. Black Panther's also, they handled Black Panther's origin story very well, and I'm surprised it went across so, well, even though they had a budget and screen time. Which I actually know someone who has the first appearance of Black Panther, and he didn't even know about it until I told them. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. Black Panther, definite highlight. Along with that, Iron Man and Captain America's draw was really good. I didn't make it to all the way through the end credits. I had to leave because of my elderly father. So we only saw like I only saw one of the end credits scenes. So I only saw one, the one where they put Bucky to sleep. So those who stayed, please tell me what happened, since I'm left in the dark over here. Leave a comment, but space, and then leave the comment So, no one who watches this and just reads the comment is spoiled. So, it was a very fun movie. I really enjoyed it, even though it's a little boring at first. It gets really interesting. One thing I didn't like was Vision. Really, Vision kind of felt like a jerk, but he had his motivations. He thought what he was doing was right, but you can say at the end that he really just thought, what he was doing was wrong. So he really takes the Iron Man role that Iron Man had in the comic book. I'm surprised Nick Fury was in this movie, actually. The best part of this movie was when Captain America and Sharon Carter kissed, and Falcon and Winter Soldier were just like having that big like, go for it, buddy. Like, no, I can't replicate it. You guys aren't seeing my face right here. So, with that, very fun movie, a lot of Easter eggs, and I like that Benzema was still alive, so it's in this big. The leader and the Abomination are still alive too, which can come to play. And if the theories are right, all the villains will probably come back at the end. We also saw the Doctor Strange trailer in front of that, which is an okay trailer. Not really a huge Doctor Strange fan, but it will be a good movie. So that was my thoughts on Captain America: Civil War. What did you guys think? Leave what you thought below in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace out.